Welcome back to the Jake Asman Show on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Need a mortgage that fits your life? Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Jake Asman.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. You get guaranteed low prices and excellent customer service at O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better parts, better prices every day. I think it's safe to say Trevor Lawrence is still going to be the first pick in the NFL draft. How do I know this? Well, Trevor Lawrence announced on Twitter yesterday that him and his wife are donating $20,000 to charities in Jacksonville as a thank you to Jaguars fans for sending wedding gifts and making charitable donations. So I think it's safe to say Jacksonville is in love with Trevor Lawrence. And
were you ever in doubt?
There was never a doubt Trevor Lawrence was going to be a Jacksonville Jaguar. Any last-ditch effort to not get drafted by the Jaguars apparently was not his plan, because Trevor Lawrence took to Twitter additionally over the weekend, and he clarified his comments that we discussed a lot last week on the show to Sports Illustrated. I'll read you his statement, or what he called as his TED Talk on Twitter. Quote, "It seems as if people are misreading my sentiment. I am internally motivated. I love football as much or more than anyone. It is a huge, capital, priority in my life. I am driven to be the best I can be and to maximize my potential and to win. I have a lot of confidence in my work ethic. I love to grind and chase my goals. You can ask anyone who has been in my life. That being said, I am secure in who I am and what I believe. I don't need football to make me feel worthy as a person. I purely love the game and everything that comes with it, the work, the team, the ups and the downs. I am a firm believer in the fact that there is a plan for my life, and I'm called to be the best I could be at whatever I am doing. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, LOL." So Trevor Lawrence here, essentially doing some damage control. That's how I looked at it. He tried to, kind of outsmart us and be like, I don't really need football. That's not really who I am. I don't want that to define me. And then realize that it's not the best look for the best quarterback prospects. It's Andrew Luck or John Elway to say that. And he's clarifying his comments here because I think someone got to him. It was like, Trevor, we know you probably didn't mean how it came out, but it's not the best look. When you come out and say you don't have a chip on your shoulder, even if that's how you feel, it's not the best look to do that. So there's some damage control here. And honestly, the comments by Trevor Lawrence, to me, were not as bad as the comments by those around him. Like his dad said, quote, "He's not a want to win a Super Bowl at all costs type of guy." And then his own high school coach said, with who Trevor is as a person, he could walk away from football tomorrow and be fine. Those are the two comments that I'm like, what? That's what we want out there? And I'm not going to rip Trevor Lawrence for those comments because I think Trevor Lawrence has proven he loves football. The guy's the ultimate winner in high school and college. I'm not going to rip Trevor Lawrence for misspeaking there. It happens. I want to just point out the double standard had somebody else said what he said. If Justin Fields said that, people would be like, he's undraftable. Can't take him. If Zach Wilson said that, well, Zach Wilson, spoiled rich kid, uncle owns JetBlue, not going to work hard at the NFL level. But people don't look into the fact that Zach Wilson drove 10 hours every weekend during COVID to work out with his quarterback trainer, John Beck, or that he was a DoorDash driver to earn extra money on the side to afford to make those trips. Just throwing that out there. But nope, if Wilson said that or Fields said that, they'd be getting eviscerated. So the double standard is what I push back on. But as far as, will Trevor Lawrence work at the next level in Jacksonville? I have a big question about just how his personality works with Urban Meyer's personality. Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence, don't they sound like the opposite of what works? Trevor Lawrence is kind of laissez-faire on being an NFL player. Fine. Doesn't mean he won't be good. But his head coach is a guy that was hospitalized with heart issues because of the stress of coaching. Urban Meyer is admitted to emailing recruits while he's in church. I was reading an article by Dan Wetzel in USA Today. And Wetzel wrote in the story that Urban Meyer would schedule post-game victory dinners in an effort to, quote, appreciate the journey. But he would routinely skip them so we can start studying film on the next opponent. The styles of Lawrence and the styles of Urban Meyer. That's what I wonder about at the next level. How does that translate? How does that work? That's what I'm the most curious about going forward with Trevor Lawrence. And honestly, Lawrence's comments are an example of why playing in Jacksonville is probably the right fit for him. Because had he said what he said, if he was about to be the Jets quarterback, it would be the story right now. It is like we're kind of over it. Like we're on to the next. We're moving on. We're no longer even going to really talk about it after today. But I'm telling you, if someone else said that, it'd be the story. We'd make so much of it. So I thought those comments were, I guess I used the term red flag last week. I'm not saying you can't draft them, but they were a bit alarming. And you have a lot of people trying to explain, who Trevor Lawrence is. And I'm not saying you don't draft him. But I think the fact that he had to clarify those comments told you that some smart people got to him and were like, hey, we understand what you might want to make, but that's not the best thing to say right now. Agree or disagree with Lawrence's comments? 800-224-2004. How about the reaction, though, to Lawrence's comments? Ron, let's get your thoughts on this. Red flag, no red flag, what Trevor Lawrence said.
No red flag. Because he doesn't have to prove anything to anybody. He doesn't have to have a chip on his shoulder. He's already proven that he's the best quarterback in this draft. He's already proven that he wins. He doesn't need to have that, what society needs from him now to have that chip on his shoulder, have that extra motivation to go out and win. He has the skill to win. He's going to win. It's just a matter of time. He may not win his first year because it's the NFL. He's got to get. But eventually, over time, he's going to figure out that game, too.
I just wonder how him and Urban Meyer will work at the next level.
I think it'll work fine for the first 2 or 3 years. Then I think Urban Meyer might call it quits again. I don't have any faith in Urban Meyer at all. I think the only reason why he took this job was because he wanted to coach Trevor Lawrence.
And that's a big question, though, about now how he works with a guy like Trevor Lawrence that has a very different personality than he does.
And I think Trevor is adaptable just because of his demeanor. He's not someone who's going to go out there and make waves. At least we haven't seen that out of him yet. Maybe the pressure of the NFL would get to him. But I think he'd be adaptable to what Urban Meyer is asking for, and then the next coach coming after Urban in 3 years. Because I hope I'm wrong, but I really have a 3-year ceiling for Urban Meyer. Until another health concern occurs.
I didn't like that hire from the start by the Jaguars. I felt like you're in a perfect situation with draft capital, salary cap. You're about to get Trevor Lawrence, and you hired a guy that's a boomer bust type of head coach. Like, I don't think there's a middle ground with Urban Meyer. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like those type of college coaches, the alphas of the world, it's either going to work or it's going to fail. Like, I don't see the scenario where Urban Meyer goes to Jacksonville and he's just an average coach.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's major boomer bust potential with Urban Meyer.
No, I don't see. He's not going to be a Jeff Fisher type of coach. It's either going to be one extreme or the other, and it's probably going to be what we all believe the Jaguars to be next year. Maybe 3-12 or 3-13, or I guess 3-14 now,
or 4. Actually, no, it'd be 4-13.
4-13.
The 17-game season
is going to mess us up. It's going to mess us up because we have our numbers down. We've had them down for years. Gosh darn it! Except for we can probably remember 17-0 and 0-17. But yeah, so what do we say? 3-14.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, they could,
4-13.
It all depends on what Lawrence is as a rookie. I mean, the reality is though, Trevor Lawrence, to me, based on these comments and everything else, he's got the most to prove out of any of these quarterbacks. Like, don't give me, Justin Fields has got to prove he could be great out of Ohio State or
you know what the reality is too is that Trevor Lawrence will probably win a lot his first year because that always seems to happen with the rookie quarterbacks. They come in, they're hot, people haven't really, the NFL hasn't really figured them out yet, and then we start to see that sophomore slump.
Recent rookie play has been better than it's been previously. And I think a lot of that's because these guys just get so much more exposure to football growing up. Like, there's less of a learning curve now when you enter the NFL. But the real test for Lawrence will be how him and Urban Meyer get along when some adversity hits. It will be easy when they're winning. It'll be easy early on when Trevor's making all the plays. What happens when adversity hits? That will be a big question that you have to have if you're a fan of the Jacksonville Jaguars. A lot still to get into. Coming up next, let's talk about how bad the Yankees are. Stay tuned.
Jay Farner